yavan yatha dharmo veha samihitaha sa eva tat phalam bhunkte tatha yavadamutra vai. Ena yavan yatha adharmo dharmo veha samihitaha. So according to the activities dharmic, religious or irreligiously performed, then that person gets phalam, the fruit, either bitter fruit or sweet fruit, amutra vai, in the next life. Accordingly, he gets the body. Karmana daiva netrena sad asad janma yonishu. Karmana daiva netrena. In the karma, they have eyes. Daiva netrena sad asad janma yonishu. Yoni means species. Sat means higher species, asat means lower species. According to one's karma, one gets higher body or lower body. In proportion to the extent of one's religious or irreligious actions in this life, one must enjoy or suffer corresponding actions of this karma in the next. And Srila Prabhupada is quoting the verse from Bhagavad Gita, Urdhvam gacchati satvastha, Urdhvam gacchati. Upwards go satvastha. Person situated in mode of goodness, they go upwards. Then madhe, in the middle, tishtanti rajasa. Persons in the mode of passion, they stay in the middle, planetary systems. And adho gachanti, adha means down, gachanti means go, tamasa. People in mode of ignorance go down, mode of passion stay where? Middle, and goodness upwards. So goodness means pious activity, so they go to heaven. The tamasic, sinful activity, they go to the hellish planets. And rajasic, the passionate ones, they stay in the middle, this planet, middle planet system. So this is 14th chapter, 18th verse of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada has quoted that verse supporting Yamaduta's statement. Like that, they just as the springtime, the omnipotent Yamaraj is as good as Brahma, they say. They're talking about their master, Yamaraj. For while situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart like Paramatma, he mentally observes past activities of a living entity and thus understands how living entity will act in future lives. Such is the power of Yamaraj. He could just think of his present and past activities and he could immediately visualize that he will act like this in future. And then accordingly he is given the bodies. One should not consider Yamaraj an ordinary living being. He is as good as Lord Brahma. He has competent cooperation of Supreme Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, and therefore by the grace of Super Soul, he can see the past, present and future of all living beings from within himself. He could see this. The actual decisions concerning next lives of living entities are made by Super Soul and they are carried out by Yamaraj. So there's a cooperation. They work as a team, or Lord has a final say, Super Soul has a final say in the matter, then Yamaraj does the execution of the will of the Lord. We are skipping some verses here, for and the time constraints are there. So panchabhi kurute swarthan panchavedatha panchabhi ekasu shodashena trin swayam saptadasho asnute. The living entity enjoys or suffer. They say conditioned soul has 5 working senses, 5 objects of senses are there, and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. That is 15, 5, 5, 5. And then what is in the 16th item is mind, and 17th is living entity himself. So like that, the 17 together, and they have connection with subtle body. And so according to knowledge acquired and particular kind of knowledge acquired actions performed, they enjoy or suffer differently. Some enjoy shoka, that's lamentation, harsha, bhaya, artidam. The subtle body is endowed with 16 parts, the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, 5 objects of sense gratification, and the mind. This subtle body is an effect of 3 modes of material nature. It is composed of insurmountably strong desires, and therefore it causes the living entity to transmigrate from one body to another in human, animal life and life as a demigod. And there are a few more verses by, no, there are not many more, but few, just kind of replying to the questions raised by Vishnudutas. And towards the end now, like a last 10 verses, Vishnudutas are going to describe in little more detail, giving some more details of the life or sinful life of Ajamil, is Dasipati Ajamil. And then in conclusion they say, yes, this is the reason we want to bring him to Yamalok. So they want to make their case. So they have given some, we're reading through some philosophical explanations, and now life history again. We're studying the life of this Dasipati Ajamila. Ayam hi shruta sampannaha sila vritta gunalayaha. He was, so pay attention, important details are there. Let's not miss anything. So they say that he was shruta sampannaha, means he used to hear a lot from right sources. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho Smaranam. He was doing this Nityam, Bhagavata Sevaya, studying Shastras, Vedas. He was doing this regularly. Shila Vratta Gunalayaha. He was well behaved. He had a very bright character and he was full of so many good qualities. Dhrata, Vrato, following so many vows. He used to fast on Ekadasi and like that. We have also taken vrat. What is our vrat? Katha vrat. Katha vrati. We are Katha vrat. Right now we are following vrat of Katha vrat. There's a Brahmacharya vrat, Ekadasi vrat, different vratas. There's also right now there is a month of Purushottam Mas. Every after 3 years, one additional month appears called Purushottam. And a lot of people, if you go to Vrindavan now, it's so crowded. Started like 3 weeks ago, 1 more week, I think, 1 more week to go. This month is considered very, very auspicious, especially for hearing and chanting. People drop their whatever routine businesses and they go to the holy place, stay there for a whole month, following different vows. For eating, they followed a lot of eating restrictions. And if you don't eat this, if you don't eat salt, you will have a sweet voice and this and that. If you don't drink milk, you get this benefit like that. So people follow a lot of different vows and minimize the bodily demands and increase the spiritual practices during this month. All the holy places are crowded right now in India. You go to any and every holy place, people are coming in big numbers for darshan of the deities or taking holy dip. Of course, that's very favorite pastime. They all like to take a holy dip. As soon as they come, they want to find where to take bath. Bathing ghat. There is a snan ghat. So different vratas. So Purushottam Mas, follow this is also another vrat. So he was Dhrita Vrataha. He used to follow lots of vows. And Mridu, he was very mild person. Now very arrogant, But one time, and Danta, he was a sense and mind controller. He had controlled his mind and senses to great extent. And Satya Vak Vang Mantra Vichu Visuchihi. He was very clean, always speaking truthfully, speaking truth, no lies. Talking with the previous, before coming in contact with the prostitute, he was like that. And they have information about that. How are they saying this? How did Yamadutas come to know this? Witnesses, yes. So many witnesses. I mean, the good news also, they are informed. Not that only sinful activities. Someone is doing good, that is also reported. There's also on the computer screen, that also appears. And he used to be very respectful. He had service attitude. Guru, Agni, Atithi, Vradha. 4 parties mentioned. He used to serve and be respectful, serving gurus, fire, guests, and old people. There are other parties, but these people. Agni serve. Respecting Agni is what? Light the fire and do swaha, swaha, or use the fire, cooking for the Lord. That is worshipping, serving fire. And guests should be treated as God. Old people, they are wise people. Old people are wise people. Hence they are useful people in Vedic culture. So they should be respected, looked after. Not because they have become old now, just kill them. It's useless, Get a gun, wipe them out. No, old is gold. They have so much experience. And so they could just sit down. They can't run around so much. They have brain. They have experience. In Vedic times, now there's also the other thing. Because they had been practicing. So how they overcame different difficulties in their life. This obstacle, that maya, this, that. So they're seasoned. So they could share their knowledge. So that's a wealth to have such access. Sometimes we say in our Krishna consciousness movement, we don't have grand old mothers, grand old fathers. It's mostly young people. Or it's just first generation or 1.5 generation only. So we are lacking to some extent. We have Prabhupada. The whole living, experienced people gone through ups and downs and thick and thin of the life. Such people they help us, advise us, guide us, inspire us. So this Ajamil, he used to be very respectful. As soon as old person walks into the bus, young people should stand up. Please take this seat. Or some sannyasi comes. Now they don't care. We keep standing. They don't know. They don't even know this is sannyasi. Or they see he's carrying dand. They think he's also going for fishing. They don't know what he's carrying. Not up to fishing rod. We say, yes, fishing. It's the ocean of material. It's the ocean, and so we fish out people out of this ocean. Yes, a fisherman. They're on a fishing mission. So they don't even know that here's a sannyasi. What to speak of respecting him or offering him a seat or any kind of service. So that's the state of affairs. Then there's more of his qualities have been mentioned here, that he was non-envious, anasuyakaha, and mitvak. Like there's a myth, a book. Vak means speech. Mitvak means just speaking only when it is necessary. He was not just talkative, talking. He was mitvak. They say because God has given us 2 ears and how many mouths? 1 mouth. So our hearing should be twice compared to our talk. Normally we do other way around. We talk more, hear less. We don't want to hear. We want to only talk. But this person, he was mitvak. And sarva bhuta surut. He was very friendly to all the living entities. And sadhu was very gentle person. That's why he said, described as shruta sampannaha. He was sampanna. Well educated in Vedic knowledge. So having described his good qualities during his youthful days, now comes, so then what happened? Ekada, once upon a time, vanam yataha, he was going into the forest or a forest garden, pitra sandeshakrit dvijaha. And he was going there because his father had sent him to do what? Adaya tata avrittaha, to go and collect some fall fruits, pushpa, some flowers, and grass, samit and kusha, the two kinds of grasses required for the puja. So while he was out there on the mission of collecting flowers and fruits and special grass required for puja, something happened. Dadarsha, he saw. He saw Kaminim Kashit Shudram Saha Bhujishaya. He saw one Shudra person in company of a prostitute. And the prostitute has been described here as Pitvacha Madhu Maireyam Mada Ghurnita Netraya. And she had drunk so much vodka or German beer. She had taken so much Pitvacha Madhu Maireyam that her eyes were rolling. She was just intoxicated like anything. Eyes were rolling. He was seeing this. Mattaya Vishlitha Nivya Vepetam Nirapatrapam. And as a result, her body she was not even aware which part of the body are covered with the clothes, which parts are gone naked. And Vepetam Nirapatrapam. She was shameless. So either under the influence of the intoxication, the drink she had drunk, she had taken so much of that, or purposely she was just not covering her properly. And what else was Kridantam? She was just playful, and Gayantam, she was singing glories of the Shudra, this person, low-class person. Oh, how beautiful, how this, how that. Hasantam, laughing, anayantike. So they're together. Oh, they were busy like that. Does that sound familiar? You don't have to read in Bhagavatam. This is, just go down the street. It is all there. Worse than this. And Prabhupada writes, while traveling along the public way, Ajamil came upon a fourth class, not even third class, this is fourth class man and a prostitute who are vividly described here. The drunkenness was sometimes manifest even in bygone ages, although not very frequently. Previous ages, some drunkenness would manifest. In this age of Kali, however, such sin is to be seen everywhere, for people all over the world have become shameless. Long ago, when he was seen of a drunken Shudra and prostitute, Ajamil, who was a perfect brahmachari, was affected. Nowadays, such sin is visible in so many places, and we must consider the position of a brahmachari student who sees such behavior. Prabhupada is concerned. For such brahmachari to remain steady is very difficult unless he is extremely strong in following regulatory principles. Nevertheless, if one takes to Krishna consciousness very seriously, he can withstand the provocation created by sin. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we prohibit illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. In Kali Yuga, a drunk, half-naked woman embracing a drunk man is very common sight, especially in the Western countries, and restraining oneself after seeing such things is very difficult. Nevertheless, if by grace of Krishna one adheres to the regulatory principles and chants Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna will certainly protect him. Difficult but not impossible. Prabhupada is trying to make that point. Things are difficult. Drashtva tam kamliptena bahuna parirambhitam jagam hridayat vasham sahasai vimohitaha. So drashtva kamalip. So first he was described what a nice person he was, full of so many qualities. The next thing in this scene, he had to see this Shudra and prostitute embracing that scene. Drishtva, now says Drishtva, by seeing this, Kama Liptena, full of calm, full of lust, and Parirambhitan, Bahuna, Bahu, that is hand, arms, they were embracing each other. Jagama Hridaya Vasham. He followed that, his thoughts went, he contemplated, and he was taken over by this scene. The desire aroused within him, and he became bewildered. Now, see what more he is doing. As Stambhayan Atmana Atmanam Yava Sattvam Yathashrutam Na Shashaka Samadhatum Mano Madana Vepitam. So he was trying to use his intelligence. What he was seeing, he was trying to stay transcendental. Atmana Atmanam. Atmana means using his intelligence. He was trying to Uddharet Atmana Atmanam, Natmanam Avasadayat. In 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises that one should lift himself, not physically, but use of intelligence. Atmano Atmanam, Natmanam Avasadayat. Make sure we don't fall down. Atmaiva Atmana Bandhu, Atmaiva Ripuratmana. The mind is one's best friend, or the mind could be best enemy. This is 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So with the mind, one should try to, with the help of intelligence, try to keep oneself at a higher level and make sure the mind is not degrading oneself, ourselves. This is Krishna's advice. So mind could be enemy, mind could be friend. So under the circumstances, he's trying, he struggled, use all his spiritual strength, yatha shrutam, because he was trained, he was told. He had been hearing katha and all that. So all the techniques, all the knowledge, under these circumstances, what to do. He was trying to apply that to this particular situation. Na shashaka samadhatum. However, he did not become successful. He fall prey to the strong maya situation, and mano madana vepitam. His mind started more agitation, fluctuation, and just became stronger than the intelligence. Intelligence stopped functioning. Mind took over. Madana, that is lust. Madana vepitam. Madana Mohan is calm. The arrows pierced, and he couldn't take them out. And then tasmin nimitta vyaja grahagrasto vichetanaha tameva manasadhyayan swadharmat viraramaha. In the same way that the sun and moon are eclipsed by a low planet, Brahman lost all his good sense. Taking advantage of this situation, he always thought of the prostitute, and within a short time he took her as a servant in his house. Deal closed. Means lot more happened. He contemplated, he got bewildered, and then he took all the necessary steps, all the actions, and he took her into his house, abandoned all regulative principles of a Brahman. And as prostitute entered his home, that was the end of all the Brahminical practices at home. By speaking this verse, Sukadeva Goswami wants to impress upon the mind of the reader that Ajamil's exalted position as a Brahmin was vanquished by his association with a prostitute. So much so that he forgot all his Brahminical activities. At the end of his life, by chanting the 4 syllables named Narayan, he was saved from the gravest danger of falling down. Swalpamapi asya dharmasya trayato mahato bhaya. So, only because he had performed those activities, pious and some spiritual activities before coming in contact with the prostitute, so some progress that he had made, he was saved. He was able to chant and Lord saved him. And he just chanted, just chanted Narayan few times, finished. So I'm going to do the same thing. Now I know. Like that, people get some ideas. In India, a lot of times people say, oh, so practice little, then forget it all, and then say Narayan, Narayan. When Yamadutas come, Narayan, Narayan, and go back to Godhead. It may not work like that. That is cheating. That's not the lesson this Bhagavatam is teaching us here. Thus Ajamil began spending whatever money he had inherited from his father to satisfy the prostitute with various material presentations so that she would remain pleased with him. He gave up all his Brahminical activities to satisfy prostitute. Pitrena arthena, his father's property, father's money, and he spent that on his prostitute. Prasideta yatha tatha, as Vipram swabharyam apraudham kule mahati lambhitan visasarjat chirat papaha svairinyapang vidhadhi. He was already married before, married to a Brahmin's daughter, so he threw her out. Brahmin's daughter, he threw her out and replaced her with the prostitute. Yamadutas are saying this. That's why we want to punish him. He even gave up the company of his very beautiful young wife who came from a very respectable Brahmin family. Although born of a Brahmin family, this rascal, bereft of intelligence because of the prostitute's association, earned money somehow or other, regardless of whether properly or improperly, and used it to maintain the prostitute's sons and daughters. Nyayato anyayato dhanam. Illicit, legal, illegal means he earned money and spent it all. So now they say that this Brahmin irresponsibly spent his long lifetime transgressing all the rules and regulations of Holy Scripture, living extravagantly and eating food prepared by a prostitute. Therefore, he is full of sins, he is unclean, and is addicted to the forbidden activities. Report. Food prepared by an unclean, sinful man or woman, especially a prostitute, is extremely infectious. Ajamil ate such food, and therefore he was subject to be punished by Yamaraj. And here is a final statement and conclusion and proposal by Yamadutas. Tat enam dandapane sakasham kritakilbisham neshyamo akrita nirvesham yatra dandena shuddhyati. We want to purify him. But how? Yamadanda, the stick of Yamaraj. When he gets all the beatings, then he'll come to the senses. We want to straighten him out. That's the only way he could be cured and rectified. This man Ajamil did not undergo atonement. Therefore, because of his sinful life, we must take him into the presence of Yamaraj for punishment. There, according to the extent of his sinful acts, he will be punished and thus purified. They are sticking to their proposal. They are convinced this is what should be done with this Ajamil. The Vishnudutas had forbidden Yamadutas to take Ajamil to Yamaraj, and therefore Yamadutas explained that taking such a man to Yamaraj was appropriate. Since Ajamil had not undergone atonement for his sinful acts, he was to be taken to Yamaraj to be purified. When a man commits murder, he becomes sinful, and therefore he also must be killed. Otherwise, after death, he must suffer many sinful actions. Similarly, punishment by Yamaraj is process of purification for most abominable sinful persons. Therefore, Yamadutas requested Vishnudutas not to obstruct their taking Ajamil to Yamaraj. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 6th canto, 1st chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The History of Life of Ajamil. So you could digest this much. And then when you come back, we'll now listen to Vishnudutas. Vishnudutas are going to give befitting reply. Let's see how they could sort this out. Quite complex situation.